favorite part, keywords. I put this on the left-hand side because this is going to be a little conversation we're going to have. Does anyone know their keywords? There's different ways that we're going to do this, and so I want to explain what keywords are, and then we're going to go through each of these different categories of how we can think about it, and then if we want, I have a guided exercise that'll help us think about it a little bit more relaxed. So keywords, again, being searched, the easiest way to start, one word. It's an easy word that someone searches because the broader you can be, the more searches you can be found in. And then we'll build to being more specific. The longer you get, so as soon as you go to 2 to 3 words, people may not search it in that order. So the variation of moving the words, for example, plumber Rochester is different than Rochester plumber, is even different than Rochester plumbers. Adding a plural changed the word. We are talking to a computer. We need to be literal. We need to be exact. This is important because if we're not, we may rank for one that, and we can use a couple tools, one without an S, with an S, may be searched totally different. The number of times people are searching it can impact us getting more traffic or not being seen by as many people. So once you think of a couple keywords, how can I rephrase this? And that's what the worksheet is for you to use this platform of, all right, I have this keyword, how else may I say this? How else may I even spell this? So I'm going to jump to the misspellings. Plumber, P-L-U-M-M-E-R, is an excellent keyword. Plumber. It is searched a ton. People don't correct their spelling in Google, and it is cheap.
I get checks written to John Lockwood Plumbing or Plumber, and that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That's the first thing I thought of was plumber with 2 M's.
Yeah. And it's so silly. So it's to a point, Google Ads, great. Misspellings on our SEO strategy, we want to be a little more covert. We don't want to have plumber spelled wrong in your business name or in the description. We want to use other ways to get the misspellings in there so Google knows it's there, but the consumer doesn't see it.
So, quick question. You're talking about industry keywords and you said to pick one.
One word.
One word, right? But I'm thinking of like the companies that I have, they're very niched. Mm-hmm. And it's typically a combination of words versus like, so I think of like another company, one of my like main companies, like tax mitigation strategies. Okay. So if I put tax, is that the one word? Like
I would do tax mitigation.
Tax mitigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that is specific enough, but plumbing by itself.
Pilates.
Yes.
Like
it's going to be a lot more vague.
Right.
And that can be used as our homepage keyword so that we're getting the most traffic, but then we go down to the specific page for that discussion or event or whatever, and that's where we're very specific with our keywords. Yeah. So if someone does search it, they're going right to the right page. If they search something kind of like it or in the realm of it, we still want them to know we exist, we still want them to our website. So that's where you kind of want to have the funnel of keywords to get you to, we're finding people. Are we finding the right people? Mm-hmm. And then with your search console, you'll find out what keywords people really like and are converting, and then you can start getting rid of the broad ones.
Okay.
But still going out there, getting as much as you can, learning from it, narrowing it down.
Right.
Suggestion.
Yeah, because I think of like the comics that we're creating, like comics would work, but then there's like a very unique process and methodology that we use that's like way different than any. But that's where content comes in.
Right.
So to catch the broad audience, like comics would be good. Okay.
Yeah. Custom comics.
Custom comics.
And that's where we'll get into like, we've all kind of heard what each other's business, what would I search? So that's what I want you guys to be thinking for. Obviously your own business is going to be very easy, but what would I search if I was looking for a Pilates studio and I ran a studio? And we can get into deeper about what is it exactly you do? What do you want to do? And that's the case of, I want to sell more water heaters, right? Do we have a water heater page? How is that keyword industry? I mean, people are searching for it. Is it tankless, or is it regular, or is it repair? We could go down so many rabbit holes of keywords, and that's why this is my favorite section, is because once we figure out our keywords, the rest is easy. It's figuring out what people search so that we can put those keywords in the spaces that are given to us, and then Google sees it. Right now, we may either have a blank space or we have the wrong keyword. So customer keywords, you're going to talk to your customers all the time. What do they say? What are you hearing them ask? What are you hearing them say? Even asking them, how'd you find us? I found you on Google. What'd you search? Like, a lot of people do ask that, how'd you hear about me? But go a little bit further. All right, well, who's that referral? What's that keyword you searched? Did you find us on Google Maps? And sometimes they're like, I don't know. It's fine. If you have these tools set up, you'll know anyways. But if you ask, you may hear some repetitive things, and then you can start working those phrases, those things into your strategy. Question keywords are rich. If you've ever asked Google a question, you'll see a suggested, like, bolded answer for you. They go find an answer in a page and bring it to you, so you don't even have to go to that website. You want to be that website. That's credible, that's trustworthy, that's all of those things that Google wants to be able to be found at the top. If you can be found in one of those searches,
Can you answer those questions through blog writing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, more writing.
yes.
I'd love to write that.
But also with videos too, because there are videos that pop up in those options as well. But there's also, and a couple ways that you can find the keywords is if you do a search for a related question that you have in mind, there's a section that says people also ask. There's like drop downs to more questions. Adding those questions to your list and continuing to kind of file through which ones do you want to answer, which ones do you not want to answer. You don't want to pick content or topics or keywords that are like unrelated. Don't write it just to get the traffic. Write about what you want so that you get the right traffic. Out of the box keywords is what I like to describe as your business is here. What do people search for before they know they need your business? That can be many things. I just bought a house. I'm going to need a plumber. I probably rented before and didn't have a plumber, so in any case, if there's an issue, it can come up. Home inspection. There's a lot of that outside rim of your business that touches once something comes up. How can you relate with your SEO by being there? I just bought a house, now I need a plumber. Blog post, video, some way to convey we're the person you need when you search for this. So the out-of-the-box keywords are going to be random that you'll come up with when someone says something and you'll be thinking, I remember this should be a keyword somehow. Those are going to be the low-hanging fruit that honestly you can get a lot of traffic and determine if it can be converted, if your website can perform.
So are these ones sometimes like a string of words together?
Mm-hmm.
You can consider that one keyword.
Exactly. Yeah, so when I say start with one keyword, start there and build on it. You're going to find that most keyword or search terms are going to be a phrase. So 2 to 3 words is the average. Once you go to 4, you're into long tail keywords. And that's where you're going to have a lot of different variations of what word was searched in the order for the same person. So once you get to 4 words, you'll probably rearrange them and have a lot more keywords. But that's the best way to go.
What's too many? Or is there not such
Never too many.
Never too many.
Never too
I
many.
just
Victoria
asked a question yesterday.
She sent me an email of maybe 25 keywords the first time and maybe 30 to 40 the next time. And she's like, how many is too many? And with Google Ads, you can target as many as you want. SEO, it's how many pages are you willing to create? And so the next thing we're going to talk about is research. And that's how you can prioritize them. I don't want to waste my time with the keywords that get searched once a month. I want to focus on the one that gets 100 or more. So that's where the data of this in that next table will give you how many searches. Now I can prioritize, because obviously the one that gets searched the most should be your homepage. And then each specific page beyond that should be specific to whatever you're talking about. And then if you write a blog post, that's where you can choose whatever you want to talk about, and that's usually the keyword list is where you pull from. Google